Hello?
This is Olivier Megaton. I did not like your review of Colombiana. I hope you like Taken 2, you hack.
I'm only going to say this once. I have a particular set of skills. Film critiquing skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you stop now, I will not pursue you. But if you keep making sequels to successful action franchises that suck ass, I will pursue you. I will find you. And I will rip your movie a new asshole. I adored Taken. I love this movie. I thought it was such a big surprise. It came out in January when most films aren't very good. It was kind of the movie that really propelled Liam Neeson as an action star because he did action before that. You know, he was in Star Wars. He was in Batman Begins. You know, Rob Roy. He did action roles before that, but this was really the movie that started the whole I'm Liam Neeson and I will kill you with my pinky thing, you know? Taken 2 stars Liam Neeson, Famke Janssen, Maggie Grace, and the nice coat guy from Batman Begins as the main villain. Olivier Megaton, Oliver Megaton, I don't know how to say his name, but he directed this movie. He also made Transporter 3 and Colombiana. 2 films with some of the worst filmed action I've ever seen. And when I heard they were making a movie just flat out called Taken 2, I just thought it was dumb. I mean, it just felt like a very unnecessary sequel. It just didn't seem like there was a point to this movie except cash grab. In this movie, Liam Neeson and his family are on vacation in Istanbul, and the people whose family members were killed in the first film come back for revenge on Liam Neeson in this film. It's like, I see it, you know, I see how that could be fun. If you can tell by my intro and how I'm speaking right now, I wasn't really a fan of this movie. Liam Neeson is effortlessly watchable. I mean, that guy adds credibility to anything. He is such a good actor, and he was good in this movie, of course, and he's a likable actor, and you want to see him in movies. You want to see him, you just like Liam Neeson. He's awesome, and he is by far the best part of this movie. It lost the realistic sense of the first film. The first film felt like, okay, this guy truly is a master spy assassin who could kill me just by looking at me. I mean, you bought that in this film. This film feels like a movie. When 2 characters burst through a room and they're about to fight, they're magically in some beautiful cathedral and they're standing on top of some fountain in this giant video game-esque surrounding area that looks like something out of a kung fu movie. This movie feels like a production. It feels like this is all made up, this is fake, this is all set up to look like a big fancy Hollywood affair. Maggie Grace, you know, I don't buy her as an actress. I don't think she's a good actress. I'm sorry. She's bad in this movie. She overacts in every shot, and that could be the director's fault for telling her to act that way. Famke Janssen wasn't over the top. Liam Neeson wasn't over the top. This girl was just so off the wall in this movie with the acting and the crying and the crying and the screaming and the crying. Here's the problem, okay? And I knew this going in. The action is so poorly filmed. I would say the median length of a shot in this movie is perhaps less than a second. There is so many cuts in this movie and you just can't tell what's going on, and the sound effects are so quiet that sometimes there actually aren't sound effects for the hits and the crunches, and it looks like Liam Neeson is just performing some sort of elaborate chiropractic adjustment on the villains rather than actually fighting them. And it just didn't have that sense of fun that the first film had because you couldn't tell what was going on. It's filmed to crap. I don't understand why this director keeps filming fight scenes that are so horrible. I mean, just rewatch the end fight scene in Colombiana. It'll give you a migraine. It's so poorly filmed, and it's the same in this movie. This guy seems to think that the more shots and angles you get of one punch, the better. It's just like, dude, show it happening. These actors practice the choreography. Just don't cut so much and zoom in and use, you know, like post effects to make the shots look different. It's terrible. The villain in the movie is extremely weak. He tells all these threats to Liam Neeson and to Liam Neeson's family, and then he leaves the room and has other people do it for him. And it's like, dude, get your hands dirty. Do something. I mean, he just walks around and makes threats. He's a terrible villain. When you're watching the movie, it's like, it's not boring, okay? Because it's basically, from about a half hour on, an endless array of chases and interrogations and fights and running, talking on the phone and making up little MacGyver-like gadgets to get out of situations. And, you know, for that reason, it's not boring. It's just, it gets really monotonous after a while when it's filmed so horribly and when the story is just so silly and over the top. Like, he actually tells Maggie Grace to take grenades and just throw them out into the city so he can listen for the sound of the grenade to figure out how far away they are. Okay, I get that, but you're telling your daughter to throw grenades off of a roof. You're gonna explode a baby or something eventually. I mean, seriously, man. I don't understand Now, there's something in this movie that really ticked me off, alright? And it might not bother all people, but it really got under my skin. There's a scene in the movie where Maggie Grace is listening to a song on her headphones and she's dancing around. It's the Real Human Being song from Drive. And I was thinking, would you really want to put that in your movie? I mean, it's basically renowned as the theme song for Drive now. But I'm willing to forget that, alright? Okay, whatever. So she was listening to a Drive song. Okay. Literally 10 minutes later, a second song from the Drive soundtrack appears in the film, the Chromatics' Tick Up the Clock. And it just got me thinking, wow, these people really like the Drive soundtrack. They really listened to that soundtrack and thought, wow, this would really be cool in our movie, wouldn't it? The movie that came out exactly last year in September. We need to use songs from that soundtrack because our movie isn't very good. It just got under my skin that it was so obvious they popped in the Drive soundtrack and were like, yeah, we need to use some of these songs. Don't put those in your movie. No, that's Drive music now. That's not, no. The action is just poorly filmed. The story is uninteresting and silly and over the top. The only saving grace in this movie is the added credibility of Liam Neeson, which he always gives to his roles. I really want this director to stop directing action movies. They're not good. He's not good at it. Stop. There are plenty of people out there who can do it better. So unfortunately, I didn't enjoy Taken 2 very much. I'm going to give Taken 2 a C-, but were you really surprised? I mean, it's just a sequel that's like, really? Do we really need this? So here's a question for you. What do you think is one of the most unnecessary sequels ever? Thanks as always for watching, guys, and if you like this, then you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.